Hey all, little bit of a different type of video here, but I wanted to just talk about some of the main problems that we see with concrete block or CMUs as a construction method, and more specifically how they're commonly used and why there's some serious flaws with this technique. And so I'm hoping that this will provide some insight into some of these issues and how to avoid the moisture problems we tend to see with these assemblies. Now, I just want to preface this by saying that there's nothing wrong with using concrete masonry units. They're a tried and true durable system if it's designed that way, but that's exactly the problem. We don't design wall assemblies with CMUs in a durable manner. These are two really common wall assemblies in the southern United States for both commercial and residential buildings. Here we have a CMU wall with direct bonded stucco, an interior wood-framed or steel-framed stud wall with fiberglass bats, and paper-faced gypsum board. On the right here, we have a similar assembly with exposed architecturally split-faced block, occasionally painted or treated with a water repellent, and the rest is the same assembly on the interior. Now, if you have good water management and good overhangs, and you're in a drier climate, this might work if the rate of drying exceeds the rate of wetting in the walls. But the main problem with these assemblies is that it lacks a water control layer or waterproofing, especially the assemblies with exposed split-faced block. That CMU absorbs water like a sponge, as they're highly porous, and while renderings like stucco can help to reduce that absorption, it's not a perfect solution either. We also have another big problem, which is that oftentimes CMU walls are mostly hollow. We don't fill every single core, which means that water has a tendency to collect at the base of the CMU once it leaks inside, not to mention that the ungrouted cores will allow air to migrate through the wall assembly, which isn't something that you really want if you're in a humid climate. Now again, this technique sometimes works with a good roof system, good overhangs, good flashings, but there's one building condition that we always see failures around, and that's where we have a parapet wall with this exposed CMU. Think about it. A parapet wall sees the most amount of water because it's completely exposed to the elements on all three sides, and if we don't have a water control layer on the outside of that block is going to absorb and store water, and that water has the potential to trickle inside. I mean, look how exposed that one location is where we have the roof framing meeting the block wall. There's nothing stopping water from getting inside. But it gets even worse for these parapets. Apart from the enormous amount of exposure to weathering, we also see a lot of moisture problems at the joint between the roof membrane and the block wall. We also see this with solid multi-withe masonry. Think about it. The porous block wall is absorbing and storing water. The roof membrane that's attached to the backside of the parapet wall is highly vapor-impermeable. It's a perfect vapor barrier. That's just the nature of these membranes. And so, we get an enormous amount of inward vapor drive to the interior, especially when the sun hits the surface of the wall. But what happens when that vapor encounters an impermeable surface that's at or below the dew point temperature? We get condensation, and that condensation drips down the backside of the block wall, saturates the wooden components, which is a really big deal if they're embedded. It rots away the sheathing and will ruin your interior finishes. That's my biggest qualm with these types of systems. There seems to be very little thought involved pertaining to the physics. Now, there are a couple of workarounds, and I just want to preface this by saying that this is not a sponsored segment. I'm just sharing what we've discovered and what works for us, and I'm hoping that it'll help you on your projects, or at least get you thinking about the potential issues with this type of wall system. Anyways, we started using this product from Prosoco, which is a liquid applied waterproofing manufacturer, and they make this product called Stucco Prime. And what it does is it allows for the installation of a traditional 3-coat stucco right over their liquid applied waterproofing and liquid applied flashing. This is sort of a big deal because stucco needs to be able to bond to the concrete if you're using a direct applied application, which a lot of builders and contractors opt for in the South with CMU. It's a lot easier than applying it to a dimple mat or drainage mesh, and basically this allows us to get our water control layer in our wall assembly on the outside so that we can control bulk water intrusion and repel the majority of that water. Then, if there's water that happens to migrate inside, it's going to be substantially less than if we didn't have that waterproofing in place, and hydric redistribution can take care of the rest. It also allows us to be able to have a continuous water control layer from the roof up onto the parapet wall and down onto the exterior face of the wall so that we have continuity of those waterproofing materials. So that's one technique. We have another option as well, and that's to uncouple the CMU walls from the roof membrane. What do I mean by this? Well, if we have all this inwardly driven vapor, let's just vent it out instead of having it condense on the backside of the roof membrane. And the way that we accomplish that is that we install a dimple mat or dimple board on the backside of the parapet wall and attach our roof membrane through that dimple mat and counter flash over it with a vented counter flashing. Any vapor is allowed to escape through that ventilated gap instead of being trapped beneath the roof membrane, and therefore we can promote drying. We also like to opt for a vented coping for the same reasons, so that moisture can be drawn out of the walls if it gets inside. This is what we tend to recommend on masonry retrofits, where we can't really change the outside and the building's already getting wet. We like to use a system called Wickrite that was developed by our friend Bob Kelly, who is doing some really amazing work in Chicago, saving these split-faced block buildings that have a bunch of water intrusion. He has a whole set of vented copings, counter flashings, and other venting systems that are ideal for these types of situations where we can't get solid waterproofing on the outside, but we can improve the drying potential. Anyways, I just wanted to get this information out there. I hope it's helpful. I know this isn't really the type of format that we usually do, but we have a couple of longer videos in the works right now that are taking a bit longer than expected, and we still wanted to put something out this week. Guys, if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more weekly building science videos, and head over to our website at asiri-designs.com, where we have over 150 free building science articles that cover a wide range of topics. Links will be in the description below. For now, good luck with your projects. Cheers.